Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm here with my dehumidifier, and Cuddlebug, and my dog Daisy, who's just behind the camera staring at me. I thought I'd make another low-key video, so that's what I'm gonna do. We're gonna go through a tier list of different Spider-Man villains, because I can and I want to, so I gotta readjust the camera. Gonna mess with it too much. Hi, Daisy. Okay, thank you, Daisy. The first villain we have is Anti-Venom. So true. I don't know much about Anti-Venom. I know that he has a pretty cool background to it. But I do know that he did play a big role in the Spider Island storyline, and that he's like the anti-symbiote. So yeah, he's a pretty interesting character. I don't know much about him, so it's tough for me to like really play favorites. Oh, nope. You can have your fun, just don't mess up the recording, please. I'll put Anti-Venom in an A. These will change. Like, these are privy to change as we get further and further down. But for now, yeah. A. Who is this person? Everybody I don't know is just automatically going to D. And also, actually, wait, no. People who I don't know are going to C. People I really don't like are going into D. Black Cat. I'll say she's A tier as well. Don't know you. Don't know you. Carnage? As a villain? So true. So true. B. Chameleon? B as well. Is that Hobgoblin? B. I know, I feel like I'm supposed to like get into like deep details about each one of these, but I can't be bothered. Let's put Doc Ock in A for now. To pad for time, I will be reviewing this list. Man-Spider, that is not a Spider-Man villain. Man-Spider is the mutated form of Spider-Man. And yes, I know that Venom is on here, but that's not Spider-Man's, like, symbiote suit. It's Eddie Brock, or presumably Mac Gargan's version of Venom. Man-Spider is not a Spider-Man villain. He's just Spider-Man having a bad day. D tier. Incorrect. Factually incorrect. Electro, B. Green Goblin? Willem Dafoe, S tier. Hammerhead, D tier. He's just mob boss with thick skull. Not really interesting. Hobgoblin? I know him, but I also I don't hate him. I know him, so he's not going in C. I don't hate him, so he's not going into D. I'll put him in B. Hydro Man, A tier. Incredibly underused and underrated. Hydro Man is just so... I don't know why I like him so much. He's just a cool dude. Jackal? I really have to reevaluate how I'm scaling these. I hate Jackal as a character, but as a villain, he's pretty good. We'll put him in A. Jack-o'-lantern, don't know much about you. No, I don't know much about you. All I know is you got domed by Punisher, I believe. Who the fuck is this? Are you a snake? Are you a scorpion? Are you something? I don't know you. You're going into C. I don't know you either. Headless Horseman? I don't know. Kingpin? I'll say S. S tier. Kraven? Ooh, Kraven's also going to S. Lizard? Okay, wait. Kraven's going into A. Lizard's going into S. Mr. Negative? A. Golden Boy? I don't know you. Morbius? Okay. We're talking about the comic version, not the film version. I don't like him either way. He's boring. Mr. Sinister? I'll I was about to say I don't consider him a Spider-Man villain, but Spider-Man does have some run-ins with the X-Men, and Mr. Sinister, I believe, is like orbits around X-Men a lot too. But I don't know much about him, so he's going to C. Mysterio, B. Prowler, B as well. Rhino, put him into A. Sandman's going into A as well. Mac Gargan, B. Who are you? Oh, you're Shriek. You're Shriek. I know who you are. But I don't know much about you, so you're going to C. I don't know much about you, but I don't despise you. Shocker's going into B. I am not like a super like in-depth, like explain every little detail thing. I'm just burning through this. Silver Sable, I like her in Insomniac, but I don't know much about her. We'll put her in B. Alistair, I know who you are, but I don't know much about you, so I don't have an opinion about you, so you're going to C. Spot, I'll put you into B. Just the power itself is very interesting. I don't know much about his character, but I do know that I like his power. And also, go see Across the Spider-Verse. It's going to be awesome. Oh, is that Tombstone? Tombstone's going to A. Love Tombstone. Toxin, don't know much about you. Venom. Yes, S tier. What? Yes, S tier. S tier villain, S tier anti-hero, S tier everything. S tier all the way. I love Venom. He's a cool dude. Who are you? Are you Gibbon? I don't know who you are, so we're putting you in C. And then we've got the Vulture. I'll put you in B. I got uncomfy, so I'm laying down now. I'm still uncomfy, so I'm going to readjust again. This is the peak, like 80s high school teenage popular girl, like on the phone with her bestie. Oh my god, Sandra. Anyway. Okay, now we've got this all into a rough list. So now let's be more specific and organize these. Let's start with the bottom up. All right, so out of these four, which one do I hate the least? I'll say Man-Spider gets a pass, because that is very much a technicality. Man-Spider's going on the top. Actually, this is perfect now. Because, yeah, Morbius is, like, he's fine. Character-wise, he's okay. Tombstone, just very generic, just mob boss. Not really, anything interesting. And then Big Wheel's Big Wheel. So, yeah, this all evens out. Wait a second. I don't think that's Mr. Negative. I think it's Morlun. Oh, that's Morlun. We gotta change this. Okay, Morlun is going into A tier. Very impactful, but also very limited appearances. So it evens out. C tier. Here's the difficult thing. A lot of these are just, I don't know who you are. Some of these I know. Like Alistair, I know you. Actually, wait. I'm going to put, because I'm aware of what the symbiotes are. I'm going to put Shriek above Toxin because she's older. I know who you are, Alistair. I know vaguely who you are, Jack-o'-lantern. And I don't know the rest of you. So we're going to go completely by appearances. This looks like a background character. This looks like a background character in Justice League Unlimited. Not really. He's just yellow. I don't get it. This guy looks interesting. However, I do like this design more. This design is the best out of just the appearances one. This design is really convoluted, but in a very, good way. Shirtless dude, yeah. Actually, no. Jacked dude in black suit above just shirtless dude. Then we've got, the Hornet wannabe. Maybe that's the Human Fly. It makes, a different character, like a different person as the Human Fly. But I don't know, so just based off appearances. Actually, no, wait. Boomerang is still quirky enough. So shirtless dude, second to last, and then shirtless gold dude, because it's that weird in between of like, because it's that weird in between of it's not just a shirtless dude, it's like a dude who's like gold. Like it's just like it's trying to be something distinctly different from just ordinary, but it's not committing to it. All right, now we got to go on to these ones. These are the ones I actually know, so it's gonna be tough. I'll say Carnage goes at the top, if it'll let me put him at the top. There you go. Carnage at the top because he's just insane, canonically insane, and he is very much one of those villains that is just pure chaos, just needs destruction, and I think that's a pretty good basis for a B-list character. All right, how about we start from the how about we start with the least now? The least favorites. We're gonna put the goblins at the bottom because just they're posers. I know, like in lore, they might be like connected to Green Goblin, but they're not Green Goblin. They're just knockoffs. It's like great. They're like great value goblins. It's nothing interesting. Chameleon. Interesting premise, difficult to execute properly. Prowler, not enough. I've not seen enough content to have a strong opinion about him. The only appearances I have, like the only experiences I have relating to Prowler is both the Into the Spider-Verse movie and then the Miles Morales Spider-Man game, both of which were great. However, that's not enough for me to like really cherish the character, if that makes sense. So he's going on the lower B list. Electro is more interesting than Mysterio. Electro is not as interesting as Scorpion, so that evens out. Scorpion is not as interesting as Shocker. Shocker's not as interesting as Silver Sable. Did this even out perfectly? That's really cool. And I am aware of the fact that I don't know enough about Spot either, like he hasn't had a lot of content that I've consumed either. But also, he's far more interesting as a premise than Prowler. So he's staying at B2. Now we're getting on to the A tiers. All right, let's get down to brass tacks. All right, obviously this might be biased for obvious reasons, but Black Cat is going at the top. Sandman, you're good right there. We'll put Hydro Man next to you. Then we got the Rhino. Do we have the Rhino? No, we have Kraven next. Oh wait, Black Cat, Kraven, and then the Elementals. Doc Ock. Doc Ock before Kraven. I really like Hydro Man. I don't want to bump him down lower, but I feel like I might have to. I'll go. All right, we'll put Mr. Negative before Hydro Man, and then Miles. We'll put Miles before Mr. Negative. Rhino, you're good there. Then Tombstone. Then Morlun, then Anti-Venom. There we go. Black Cat's at the top of the A-list because Black Cat is Black Cat. That's all you need to know. Doc Ock is on the A-list. Actually, no, he's not. He's on S tier. Kraven is A-list because he does have a lot of impactful stuff that goes on with him. Sandman is on the list. Sandman is A tier because I liked him in Spider-Man 3, and he is an interesting premise character, but also I don't have enough like content around him that really fleshes out his character in a meaningful way. So I really like him. I just don't have enough details to like really like to put him over the edge into S. Hydro Man is similar, but in a different way. There's not a lot of content around him, but that makes me like him more. Miles Warren, aka the Jackal, is a creepy mad scientist that had an unhealthy obsession with Gwen Stacy before she died, but he did give us Ben Riley and Kane, and a bunch of other clone shenanigans. So narrative wise, he's A. Person wise, he's below D. He's a Z. I do not like him as a person, but you're not meant to. And yeah, A tier villain, X, no, not X, Z tier personality. Mr. Negative, loved him in Insomniac, but again, don't have much information besides that. Rhino, really good character. Very interesting contrast, being like big and like barrel through everything, alongside like as the villain of Spider-Man, who is very much like based on agility and evasion, more commonly than just barreling through. Even though Superman is, super strong and could just barrel through if he wanted to, my Spider-Man could beat up your Spider-Man. Tombstone, very interesting premise, and I really liked his portrayal both in Spectacular Spider-Man. Actually, no, he wasn't. That was Big Man. I really liked his portrayal in Insomniac specifically, in the Insomniac game, like just as like indestructible badass chop shop boss. It's really cool. I liked his aesthetic. But that's really all I know about him, and I know there's a lot of different versions. And also like I think he was also in Into the Spider-Verse, but he really was just sort of like a side character. He didn't really do much. I think he was the one who got knocked around by Aunt May with a bat. But yeah, the two kind of even out. So he's not an S, but he does have like enough of a presence to put him in A. Morlun, a multiversal threat. He is like a Spider-Man vampire kind of thing. He goes around universes, consuming different Spider-Men to gain powers and stuff like that. He was also one of the he is also one of the most brutal ones. Like there was a whole comic around Morlun, just pretty much just fighting Peter to exhaustion. I mean, Peter won, but he took a hell of a beating, and but it's always just like a very interesting thing to see a villain like really like lay it down, like really put Peter on the ropes, and also he looks scary, but he's lower on the A list because he's not a very versatile villain. He is he's very much dangerous and very much a threat and a challenge. However, outside of like multiversal conflicts and stuff like that, he's not really around. So yeah. Anti-Venom's the same way. Again, he does have good applications, and it is an interesting like alteration to Eddie Brock's character, or I should say, a different like arc in Eddie Brock's character. However, he does only like appear in hyper specific circumstances. But yeah, so that's why just like Morlun, Anti-Venom's at the bottom of the list, because their lack of versatility makes it difficult to place them in a lot of stories. Like you could put Black Cat into any Spider-Man story and she would probably make it better. Also, dear God, somebody please utilize Hydro Man. Like do whatever like legal stuff, like copyright stuff you need to do. I need to see more Hydro Man. He needs attention. He needs affection. And now we're on to the S tiers. Oh yeah, I did throw in a couple of new guys too. Okay, so Norman's at the top, obviously. Kingpin, second top. Doc Ock. Nope. Yep. Doc Ock, Lizard, then Venom. Green Goblin is at the top of the list for obvious reasons. He is Peter Parker's arch enemy. He has like really like stuck around and made his life miserable for the longest time. I do believe he's no longer a villain, but also his legacy is pretty ever present. Also, Willem Dafoe's portrayal of Norman Osborn is just perfection. It's amazing. I love it. Both in the original Spider-Man movie and in No Way Home, he hit the nail on that. Really good character. Kingpin. Again, the actor. I'm not going to disrespect him like that. I'm going to look up his name. Vincent D'Onofrio. Also, amazing portrayal of Kingpin. Very much loved it. He did a great job. Kingpin as a character overall is just really fascinating. Because, like, I put Hammerhead at the bottom of the list because he was just, like, a generic mob figure. But Kingpin, he's a businessman. He's an under-the-table businessman. He's brutal, and he's, like, he's merciless. But also, that's what makes him so cool. Also, the fact that he has, like, 3% body fat, and he weighs, like, 300 pounds, and that's just pure muscle, is really cool. Very much liked it. Also, he became mayor at some point, which, like, big flex right there. Otto Octavius. Very egomaniacal. Very much, like, trying to prove himself and trying to prove that he's the better to everything. It's how we got Superior Spider-Man, and I really like those comics. It's a shame that he didn't have, like, a permanent change of character, but, beggars can't be choosers. But in a way that kind of solidifies his presence on the S-tier list. Because Norman, like, yeah, I'll say it's remission with the Goblin, but Doc Ock has, like, never stopped being Doc Ock. So while Norman has, like, the grandfatherness of, like, being the one who killed Gwen Stacy, Doc Ock is still in the running, and still, like, in the top running, just because he's so committed to the bit. The Lizard. I love this dude. He is very weird, and I like reptiles. And he's reptiles, and I like weird things, and he's weird too. Also, Amazing Spider-Man is one of my favorite Spider-Man movies. Like, I think even, like, subtracting the nostalgia from it, it's still one of, like, the better Spider-Man movies. Not to say any iteration of live-action Spider-Man is bad. They're all great in their own ways. I just, Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man was my childhood Spider-Man. I grew up with Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. But then Andrew came along, and he was there too, and he was nice, and he was a good option, and I liked him very much. Didn't mean I didn't stop liking Tobey, I just meant I liked Andrew too. Venom. If you watched Let There Be Carnage, you'll know that the Venom symbiote and Eddie Brock are basically an old married couple. So yeah, we love gay representation. Kraven the Hunter. I am not a fan of big game hunting, especially like trophy hunting. That's just my own personal opinion. If you do, you probably don't care about my opinion. But I just personally, that's not why I like Kraven. I like Kraven because he has that sort of interesting, like, the most dangerous game is man mentality. And also, like, the thing that really makes me, like, commit to him being an S tier is the fact that, like, he, in one way or another, defeated the Spider-Man. And then after that, he had a sort of, like, Joker after Batman's dead kind of, like, crisis where he's like, I've won, like, I've beaten the most dangerous game, but now my life has no meaning. So he actually, fills in for Spider-Man for a little bit. So, like, Kraven was wearing the black suit, not the black suit, but, like, he was being Spider-Man for a little bit. But then I think, like, resurrected Peter somehow, but then he died as a result. And then there was, like, an interesting storyline where, like, his family resurrects him, tries to resurrect him with Peter, but instead Kane swaps places, and he sacrifices himself. Yeah, spoiler alert, but, like, yeah. And then Kraven comes back, and then, like, more stuff happens relating to that. So yeah, Kraven fought and defeated the most dangerous and most powerful animals in the world. Then, in one way or another, bested Spider-Man in physical combat or some other form, or in some other fashion, and then died on his own terms, came back, and was like, well, that's, I think, 2 swears in this video? I gotta be careful. So yeah, that's where this list stands for right now. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. If you want to see more of my content in the future, consider subscribing. And if you want to keep up to date whenever I post next, hit the notification bell to get notified whenever I post next. So yeah, as always, stay happy, stay healthy, stay hydrated, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.